There we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome. If you are not an incoming chemistry transfer student at UC Davis, you might be in the wrong place, and I would be surprised that you're here. You're welcome to stay if you're interested in what we have to share today, but this session today is for all of our new transfer students in the Department of Chemistry, and we are happy you are here. We are recording this, as you might have just heard, so feel free to revisit it. I'll post it into the box folder that I had shared in that email. And we will also be sharing this out to folks who weren't able to join us today so that they can get this information before we jump into individual advising opportunities. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and we'll start the presentation. I am Kate Krevling. I am the Student Services Supervisor and also one of the academic advisors for all of our chemistry majors. You can see our baby pictures here. I'm here on the top left and made a comment about being, dog friendly in our office. And here I am with Dalmatian puppies. And I also have a Dalmatian right now, obviously none of those Dalmatians because this was long ago. So I'm a Dalmatian loving dog person and one of the major advisors. Perry?
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today to talk about some of the little nuts and bolts of orientation and all that. But yeah, I am Perry G. I'm one of the major advisors here in the Department of Chemistry. I've been an advisor at UC Davis since 2005. So it's been a long running jaunt here at UC Davis, but I've been an advisor with chemistry since 2013. So I'm very excited to work with all of you and congratulations on accepting your offer to attend UC Davis. Congrats.
Okay, and hello everyone. My name is Emily Jimenez. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am currently a fourth and hopefully my last year as a pharmaceutical chemistry major. I have been a peer advisor for about a year now, so I've been helping in this office for quite some time. And I'm someone that you would be seeing as a peer, and I can help with graduation plans and help you find coursework that you need. You'll learn a little more about kind of what you're looking to do through this presentation. But yes, I look forward to seeing more of you as well.
So, hello, everyone. I'm Jason. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm a fourth year chemical physics major, and I am one of the peer advisors for the chem department. So I'm the newer peer advisor, so I've only been on the team for about a quarter now. But, I'm excited to see everyone here and excited to be able to come and work with all of you. If you ever need any help with scheduling or choosing classes and like that, you can come to your advising team, so us, and be able to work that out with us. So I'm really excited to see you're all here, and congrats on admissions to UC Davis.
All right, great. So I just want to kind of go over what today is because you all, I'm sure most of you were probably on the semester system, so you've been out of school now for over a month. And are probably anxious to get ready for your UC Davis experience to start, and we are as well. But today is really going to be kind of more of the logistics of things you need to know before you do your advising and before you do a little bit of your registration, which will happen in August. There is a whole nother orientation week that happens prior to the beginning of the quarter. Plus, we're planning to do some specific more Zooms for our students as well. With our great peer advisors who are really going to be able to answer a lot of the nitty-gritty questions of what it means to be a UC Davis student, to be a UC Davis student in chemistry. So please know this is not your only opportunity to meet with us, but today is really going to just kind of get some of those nitty-gritty nuts and bolts logistics. So we're going to talk about how advising is going to work this summer for you all. We're going to go over OASIS, which is our online advising student information system. We're going to just show you what that looks like so you're familiar with it, because it's a very important tool for advisors and for students to be able to navigate. We're going to talk about Schedule Builder, which is how you register, the system you use to register for classes. Talk about what registration will look like, and then kind of we'll look ahead to what is coming our way for orientation in the fall quarter. And if we have some time at the end, we're happy to answer some questions as well. But once again, this is not, you all will have an opportunity to meet one-on-one with either myself or Perry or Emily this summer before you register. So this is not the only chance you have to ask questions. So if it's a specific question to you about class you specifically took, it probably is going to be best to wait on that one for your advising appointment later on. All right, Perry, I think you're up on this one.
So again, summer advising, basically, as I understand it, you must first complete the Aggie 101 portal and everything. So it kind of gives you some a little bit more information in terms of nuts and bolts, what to prepare for, and how to navigate certain sites and everything prior to your advising session with myself, Kate, or Emily. And on occasion, you'll probably see Jason shadowing both myself, Kate, and Emily during your advising session. The reason why he's going to be shadowing for the most part and not necessarily holding exact one-on-one appointments is because he is our newest member. So he's still a little bit in training and everything. So, but eventually he'll get to that point by the fall quarter to where he will be able to do a lot of one-on-one sessions with all of you. But that being said, for the summer, for now, he'll be shadowing both me, Kate, and Emily during our advising sessions. But prior to that, again, you have to complete the Aggie 101, and then basically you'll be then allowed to schedule an advising appointment with either me, Kate, or Emily through the advising appointment system. And all of our advising sessions will be conducted over Zoom. They're roughly 20 minutes long, and the sessions, the whole appointment period will be from June 29th through August 12th. And a lot of our appointments, I believe, especially mine and Kate's, are already set up in the advising appointment system. And I think many of you have already started filling in some of those appointment slots. So the sooner you can get through the Aggie 101, the sooner you can get to me and Kate, or at least get an earlier appointment. But again, registration doesn't really officially start until August 12th. So there's going to be plenty of time for you to engage with the four of us that have your questions asked and answered. But that being said, yeah, all of our appointments are going to be handled over Zoom. Again, you do have the option to meet with me, Kate, or Emily. And it's just, again, making it through the advising appointment system. And these, again, are personalized one-on-one advising sessions where we will break down some of the courses that you've already completed in terms of subject preparatory coursework, and then kind of defining what you're going to be, or at least what we're suggesting that you do over the next year, whether it's the fall, from fall, winter, and spring. And sometimes the time is permitted, we can also put together like a whole graduating plan so you can kind of visualize your entire undergraduate career here at UC Davis. We'll also have opportunities to talk about research, internships, job placement, things like that during your one-on-one advising appointment.
Okay, I pretty much put a reminder of myself to do this next. So let me switch screens. We are going to go over what is called OASIS. Oops, sorry. I'm just switching my screens, and you would think after so many years of Zoom, I wouldn't need to narrate what I'm doing to you all, but that's what's happening. Okay, let me share again. Okay, so you should all see what is called the Online Student Information System, OASIS. And this is a test student account, so it's not a real student, and it's kind of a little bit of a everywhere here and there account, but obviously I didn't want to share any real students' personal information, so this is what we're using today. So this is the, you can get here through going to your My UC Davis and going to the Academic Records tab. You could type in students.ucdavis.edu, you could type in oasis.ucdavis.edu. There's multiple ways to get to this system, but this is the system that Perry, Emily, and Jason and I will use when you contact us for questions or when you come in for an advising appointment, because this is how we will go and access your records. So what's important to see on the home screen of OASIS is a few things you want to kind of always have at your fingertips. On the main screen, it's going to tell you any important information. If you have a hold, it's going to tell you, hey, you've got a hold, and it's going to let you see what that hold says. Transfer students will have a hold to meet with either Perry or myself at some point in the winter or spring, so not in the fall. But that is really just so you are making an appointment to come see us, checking in, seeing how your first quarter went, how you're transitioning, and making a plan moving forward after you've kind of gotten your feet on the ground at UC Davis. So holds do not prevent registration. They're usually placed after the end of a quarter ends. So it'll show you the exact date it goes into effect. So there's nothing to be concerned about. If you have a major advising hold, it just means we want to see you, checking to see how you're doing. So you'll be able to view holds here on the home screen. You might have a different hold, you might have a hold from student accounting or a hold from the student health center because you haven't gotten your immunization records in. those are going to be dealt with, and it'll give you a contact information when you hit this view to see where that hold is coming from and who to contact to get it cleared. And then it'll, under the My Advising, it's going to have 2 offices for all of you. We are housed under the College of Letters and Science, and I'm going to go over in a little bit what it means to be a part of the College of Letters and Science, because there are 2 advising offices that you want to keep updated with your information. One is us. We all are just the chemistry advising team. We work directly with chemistry students. We are housed in the chemistry department. But because we're housed under the College of Letters and Science umbrella, there's an advising team that works for the College of Letters and Science, and they oversee questions about general education, units required to graduate, any exceptions to policies, everything that is not a major requirement. That's going to be your advising team that you want to be in touch with. And this is going to have their contact right here, ask a question, make an appointment, and their email. Once again, this is a test student, so it's showing the wrong major, but let's say this says chemistry. It would have the chemistry website, the chemistry general contact that Perry and I see, and a phone number as well. Down here, it's going to have additional advising resources. So this is a large campus, and that comes with a lot of pros and cons. Of course, it can be hard to navigate because it's such a large campus, but there are really expertise across campus who can help you with whatever you need help with. We have an Office of Educational Opportunity and Enrichment Services. We have an Academic Assistance and Tutoring Center, Internship and Career Center, Financial Aid, Student Help and Counseling. All of these are going to be listed as under that additional advising resources and at your fingertips to how to make an appointment or to go to their website for more information. At the very bottom of your OASIS home screen, Schedule Builder, which we're going to go over in a minute, quickly linked here. My Bill to see tuition and deadlines, financial aid package. There is a message center also built into the system, and all official messages from the College of Letters and Science will come through this message center because it's a way for it to be in one place and kind of tracked. You'll get a notification if you were to get a message. I will note, since it's here, you see the My Degree link. This is an online degree audit tool, but this is not a great tool. In fact, the university is working to get rid of this tool, and Perry, I can see your smirk. Perry and I don't recommend you use it for your major. Now, it might be useful for your general educations and other college and university requirements, which is not, that's the College of Letters and Science purview. But for your chemistry requirements, especially as transfer students, it's going to confuse you more than anything else. So we would recommend you don't worry about using the My Degree. When you meet with Perry and I, and we have that plan of here's what you have completed, here's what you need to do still, that's going to be what you want to use as your degree planning, not this tool. Also here on the OASIS home screen, you've got your important dates. So we're in the middle of summer session right now, so it's showing the holiday that, the July 4th holiday. Then it's showing when it ends, when summer session 2 begins. The fall quarter dates are very important for you all specifically. What can be a little confusing here, it says fall quarter begins September 19th, but instruction doesn't begin till the 21st. I think that's just for like billing calendar purposes, but the first day of classes is September 21st, not the 19th. So just want to clarify that. Then it's got the holidays, says when fall quarter instruction ends, when the final exams end. So this will always have important dates here on the right-hand side. I'm going to just show a few more of these other tabs here. This is the academic records tab. And once again, this is a kind of a messy example because this is a test student. But what is important to see is that this will, once all of your community college coursework, mostly community colleges, I know that there's we have transfers from other four-year institutions as well, but all of that coursework, once it goes through the processing system this summer, and it can take through till August. So if you don't see it right now, please don't worry. It will be there. It takes some time for them to process these, all the transcripts. But once it comes through, it will look like this in the OASIS system. It'll break down the courses you took at the community college by the term you took it. And then what you'll see is the community college course or transfer course. And then in parentheses, that is the UC Davis equivalent. So if you took a class, for example, here, Music 2A at Foothill College, Music 2A is equal to Music 24A at UC Davis. The UC Davis course is what is in parentheses. That is and you have absolute credit for that class if it is an articulated course on assist.org. So that is how you want to read this is, okay, well, I took English, is my English done? Well, you took English 1A, that's the equivalent of our UWP1. And if UWP1 satisfies your English requirement, then you're good to go. So that is how the transfer coursework will look. And then you'll also notice, oftentimes, most times, students are coming from a semester to the quarter system. And so the unit conversion can be a little tricky. Sometimes it'll show mostly it'll show 4.5 quarter units for 3 semester credits. It'll do that calculation here. And it'll also show the grade that you earned. What is important to know here on the right-hand side is that the GPA totals and that on your transcript at UC Davis are only going to be your UC GPA. So though you'll be able to see your community college coursework, that's not being calculated into the GPA you'll see over here, and that's going to be the GPA that appears on transcripts. And then this tool also, like I said, this is kind of a messy tool, but you can add, well, who were the instructors? What's the course registration number? If you wanted to group it by, well, I want to just see the arts classes I've taken, so, okay, I've only taken this one art class, and does it by alpha. You can see here what it looks like when a course comes from a semester to a quarter system. It comes across kind of as a funky number of units. Nothing you need to be concerned about. If you took the course, if it is showing credit for this class, that is the class you have credit for at UC Davis. So that's the academic record tab. Under the forms and petitions, this is where we will often create academic plans with you and store them. And you can do this yourself as well. So while we'll do this, so it's saved, so you can see it, we can see it. This is also somewhere you can go and just decide, well, I'm just kind of brainstorming. I'm going to create a new academic plan. So submit a new form, academic plan, and you can just start in here listing classes you think you're going to take. I'm going to take Chem 124A, and I'm going to take, I think I'm going to take Chem 107B. Notice this little red triangle. This says, hey, this course is not offered in fall. So it is helpful when you're planning to know if you think the course you need is offered. This is usually going to tell you it's not, or it's not normally offered, and you should go with that because we don't typically change when courses are offered quarter by quarter. So good tool to use just to kind of map out a plan. It'll show your final unit total. So another good tool in the OASIS system. Like I said, we will create plans for you all, at least 3-quarter plans when you have your individual advising, and they'll be saved in that OASIS system for everyone, you to access, for us to access, revisit, make a new one using the same information you were given. It's just a great tool to be aware of. All right, that covers OASIS. I'm going to hit back to the presentation. We are going to talk about schedule builder. Minimize my recording. Okay. All right. You're welcome. Talk about OASIS. Okay. Schedule builder is up next. Emily and Jason.
Yeah, so Schedule Builder is the website and sort of tool that you'll be using in order to plan out what your schedule will look like quarter by quarter and register for classes. So it's a really important tool to get familiar with and be able to use. And I'd actually like to go through like a run through of how to use it. So I was wondering, would I be able to share my screen right now, Kate? Awesome.
Yep.
So
I'll be able to. Let me know if not.
I don't think so. I need to be.
Sure. Okay. Here we go. Right now.
It looks like that will work. All right. So can you see my screen? All right. So we're going to start off on this website here. It's my.ucdavis.edu. This page will be your student profile and where you get all your information as a student. So what you'll do is navigate to the top right of this page and click sign in. And typically this will re-navigate you to a page where you can input your UC Davis username and password. I'm already signed in on my tab, so it's just taking me to my accounting or my UC Davis page. So as you can see here, there's different tiles that you can look at. So like maybe welcome you. Oh, welcome, Jason. Do you want to see your email? Stuff like that. But the important tile that we're looking at right now is my schedule. This will be on all of your my UC Davis pages. But this tile here is where Schedule Builder, where you can navigate to the site Schedule Builder. So under here, you can find where your pastimes are listed and what quarter or what classes you'll be taking next quarter you've already registered for. So by navigating here at the very top, you'll see you'll have two different pastimes, pastime 1 and pastime 2. And this is because the unique pastime is a period of time where you are able to register for courses. So everybody will be distributed a different pastime within a certain period defined by the registrar. And on that time on your schedule builder, you'll be able to log into the site and be able to register for courses. And the reason we have two passes, so we have pass 1, as you can see, and a pass 2, and we see pass 1 is much earlier than pass 2. The reason we have this is because sometimes some courses have something known as major restrictions, where courses will be held off from registering unless you're within a certain major. So for example, upper division math courses, none of you will have to take that unless you have a second major or minor. But for example, no one outside of a math major can register for a class during pass 1 to get to register for pass 2. You may encounter this while you're registering for courses, but don't worry, that's what pass 2 is for. And additionally, if you seem to find that you don't have enough courses on your schedule, you can also sign up for more courses during your pass 2. So now let's actually look at what Schedule Builder looks like. So by scrolling down on to the bottom of your My Schedule tile, you'll find a little button here that says Schedule Builder. By clicking this, it'll re-navigate you to the site my.ucdavis.edu/schedule builder. And this is where the actual tool is located. So you'll be presented this page here where it asks you to select an academic term, and you'll be selecting fall quarter 2022. So we are a quarter system here at UC Davis, so you'll always be wanting to select the quarter option for what academic term you'd like to build your schedule for, and you click continue, and it will navigate you to the schedule builder site. So as you can see here, this looks a little bit messy, but these are all the different, this is where, okay, let's break it down a little bit. So down here in this box will show what courses you have registered for or what courses you have saved on your profile. I apologize for my page as it's a little bit messy. I'm still in the process of building my schedule. But as you can see here, for example, Chem 115, this is a course that most of you will have to take. You can see in your schedule, it'll be listed down here. And then you can see that right over here, it says registered, indicating that you are registered for this course and you'll be taking it next quarter. Or whatever academic term is you decided to select for UC Davis. In order to add courses to your schedule, let's say I wanted to add an additional course to my class, to my schedule. Let's say I want to add Chem 110A, for example, which is a course, physical chemistry. A lot of you, or many of you may be taking next quarter. So by going up to the search bar, you can search in the course code CHE 110A, and make the screen a little bit bigger. And it will show up all the different times Chem 110A is being offered in the fall quarter. And as you can see here, the schedule builder will notify you if a class you want to register for has a time conflict with another course. So for example, I have a course already saved to my schedule, music of the Beatles, and it seems that this section of Chem 110A is unavailable because either its lecture or discussion is occurring at the same time as the lecture of this music of the Beatles course. So I'm not able to register for that. But for example, down here, turns out there's a Chem 110A section, which I would be able to register for since it does not have, well, it doesn't have any time listed yet, but let's say that its lecture did not conflict with any course that I have previously saved. So if I'm interested in saving this course, I can click save over here on the right, and it will appear down in the same schedule block. So as you can see here, we can see Chem 110A is saved to my schedule. And if you want to see different details about the course, for example, what it covers and who the instructor is, we can click show important details and tell us, typically once the instruction is defined, it'll tell us who the instructor is, tell us broadly what the course will be talking about, and then additionally, what prerequisites are required for us to take this course. If you, let's say, okay, I'm interested in this course and I need to take it, so let me register for it. By going over to this button right here, actions, you can click down on it and you have a bunch of different options. You can either pre-check registration, register with PTA, or remove from your schedule. Typically, you'll want to click the register button if this is during your pastime. So if I click it right now, we can see that it sends me a notification saying your pass 1 appointment has ended and you need to adjust your schedule after your appointment time. Please try again during open hours or open registration. So this will happen if you are trying to register for a course that is not within your pastime. But if it is within your pastime, then it will change. Typically, it will change this yellow box saying not registered to a green box that says registered. Let's see. So if you want to remove a class, you can hit remove. And other useful things that you can see within Schedule Builder, seeing how your courses are just laid out in front of you, it's not really useful. You can, click important details and see, oh, my, lecture and time is right here, but what does that really look like in my day-to-day life or as a student? Like, how much time will I have between each classes? What you can do is go up here and click View and click Calendar View, and it will present you your courses as a calendar or as scheduled on day by day. And so right now I'm on the day view, but if I click on the week view, you can see a weekly overview of what your classes will look like as you are here at UC Davis. So as you can see here, it looks like I'll be having courses, I'll be starting my Mondays at 12 p.m. and then ending at 4 p.m. And, I can really see, oh, looks like I have, chemistry at 12. So I should remember to bring my lab coat if I have lab that day. One thing I will note about my schedule in particular, there is a course conflict between these two courses. This just happened to me because the registrar changed when one of the lectures was going to be scheduled. So typically, Schedule Builder would not let you register for two courses. And in reality, I would not be able to take these two courses concurrently. So just ignore that there was a time conflict there. But in your schedule, you'll see a much neater format with your classes not overlapping each other. Now, if you want to see when your finals are occurring for each class, because that's a pretty important thing to know, what you do is click Views and then Final Exams, and it'll show you when your final exams are occurring. So as you can see here, looks like I have a 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. final on a Thursday. And if I click on the class, I'll see that that Thursday is 12/8, listed right here under Final Exam. And then I have another final exam on Friday. That's not a fun finals exam period. Anyways, this is the basic overview of how Schedule Builder works. If you want a more like in-depth, I guess, look into Schedule Builder, we have a website, a YouTube video that a previous peer advisor made for us that goes over Schedule Builder. So if you want to refresh on this information, you can go ahead and watch that. It's linked onto our slide. But for additional resources for building your schedule, one thing you might want to know is, when is my pastime, or when are the pastime periods occurring? What you can do is go to the registrar calendar, which is linked at registrar.ucdavis.edu/calendar/registration. You can find it by looking up registration calendar UC Davis, and it'll typically be the first result in Google. But this site will give you a very brief overview of when different registration times are occurring. So for example, you can see pastime 1 for fall 2022. For new students, at least, it will be beginning on Monday, July 11th, and it will continue through to August 17th. So for all new students, your pastime 1 appointment will probably be within that time. Once again, check your individual Schedule Builder and your student page in order to determine when your pastimes are specifically. But this is a nice resource to be able to know when pastimes will start and end, and also when open registration will start or end. Where open registration is a period of time where people can register for courses without limitations of their pastimes. And now one thing I will note is the total unit count that's listed on Schedule Builder. So as you can see here, there are a lot of different numbers and statements about these numbers. So it'll say total scheduled units 15, and then current registered units 12. So this first total scheduled units is a count of how many units are in my schedule block. So if we go back to the list view to see the courses all again, we can see that there are 4 courses, and these 3 all have 4 units, and then this course has 3 units. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So this is just counting up how many units are within my schedule, but the current registered units is indicating how many units I actually have registered on my schedule. So for example, even though I have 15 workload units, I'm not registered for this course here. So it's not counting that towards my registered units. One thing I will note is that you have to make sure that you are registering for at least 12 units per quarter, as this is minimum progress stated by the university. If you will fail to meet an average of 12 units per quarter here at your time at UC Davis, you will be placed on academic probation. So ensuring that you hit minimum progress of 12 units per quarter is of utmost importance. Now, let's say you are in a situation where you're building your schedule and you only have 10 units and you don't have any other classes that you could add that are related to your major. For example, maybe you have like 2 really difficult courses that quarter, and you don't want to add a 3rd difficult course that's also major required. You want to add like a GE course, for example, if you haven't met those requirements yet. An easy way to search for different GEs is to go to this website right here. I'm not going to attempt to read out the URL because it's kind of messy, but it is listed on our slide, which you can refer to. You can also look up, GE courses, University Registrar, UC Davis, and that will bring up the results on Google. But if you're looking for a certain course, let's say you need a course that has a topical breadth of arts and humanities, and for example, core literacy of domestic diversity, DD, you can look up the different types of GE courses that are being offered in that quarter. So by clicking run, and including the term fall quarter 2022, you can click run report. And after a bit, it will list out all the courses that are being offered in fall quarter 2022, which satisfy the arts and humanity and domestic diversity attributes. And you can scroll through or click Control F. Let's say I need a course that needs 4 units. Oh, look at that. There's a lot of courses. So now I can add 4 units to my schedule if I haven't met my 12 units of minimum progress yet. And I could just choose one that sounds interesting. So I believe that's all I have to share about Schedule Builder right now. So we can go back to the presentation, but I hope this was a helpful just first look at Schedule Builder.
Great job, Jason. Thank you for that. I will note, just because Jason did talk about general educations, most of you, if not all, I'll say most of you, probably have your IGETC. IGETC is basically the equivalent of general education that's completed at the community college prior to transferring to UC Davis. If you have IGETC, your general educations are considered completed here at UC Davis, and you don't need to worry about kind of the nuances of satisfying a domestic diversity course or a world cultures course. So if you feel confident, or if you don't, now's a good time to still communicate with your community college counselor to see if you did complete your IGETC or not. And Jason sort of alluded to like this long list of all these other classes. You will be taking courses outside of your major. We are not going to ever recommend that you take 12 to 15 units of upper division chemistry classes. So we're going to usually recommend 2 chemistry classes. You're going to need to take other classes, even if you have your IGETC. And that list, that link that Jason shared, and we'll also be sharing out the presentation, is a great way to kind of look at the variety of courses we offer. I do want to mention another way in Schedule Builder real quick to kind of do a search of classes, because I think it's useful to kind of, it's so overwhelming, the number of classes that UC Davis offers, that I think this might be one way to start playing around in Schedule Builder to maybe see some other course options that you're going to need to find to take. So I'm just going to real quick show you how to add. So I'm in Schedule Builder. We go to Add Search Courses, Show Advanced Options, and to some extent, the information Jason pulled is pulling from the same thing that this is, but this one's located in Schedule Builder. Now, one way to kind of thin out the thousands and thousands of courses that UC Davis offers is to search by the topical breadth. Once again, even if you have your IGETC, this is still going to help you to like make a smaller list of courses you might take outside of your major. We're going to usually recommend you take something like humanities or social science or something with writing or world cultures or government, something that's not chemistry. And we're going to get to kind of schedule recommendations, but I want to show you how to search using that advanced search option. So let's say, I'm taking 2 upper division chemistry classes. The other class I want to take, I want to make sure it's lower division, which is 1 through 99. And I've got space for a 3-unit class. And maybe you have a preference, you only want to meet on Tuesday, Thursdays, you could click that. You could certainly look for, hey, I want to take an animal biology class, or I want to take a Celtic class, or I want to take a fine arts class. You could definitely filter this way as well. Or you might just say, I want to take something that's not science. So I want to take something that's got a world cultures component. It's 3 units, it's lower division. I'm going to hit search to see what I come up with. So when you do that, this is another way to kind of scroll through to see what's offered in fall quarter of classes you might consider saving to your schedule to kind of round it out so you have a nice balance. So food, science, folklore, health, water, and popular culture, There's not a lot of 3-unit classes, as you can see. Most of our courses are 4 units. Refresh that to get a few more options. Intro to African Studies, Ancient Mediterranean Art, language courses, Introduction to Film Studies, Chicana and Chicano culture, history of cinema from this period of year, survey of Chicano art, ancient science. There's just so many different courses that you can take at UC Davis. This is one way to kind of peruse through them. And if you find one you like, you're like, hey, fairy tales, fables, and parables, that sounds interesting. You could go to show important details, get a little bit of a description about the class, see when it's meeting, and you're like, yep, that works for my schedule. I'm going to hit save. Because I'm not a student, it's not going to let me save. But if you hit save, it will then appear on your home screen of Schedule Builder. You're not registering for it. You're just saying, hey, I'm interested in this. So I'm going to keep it on my home screen to think about it and see if it fits in with all my other classes. So I just wanted to show that one other use of Schedule Builder to search for courses outside of the requirements. All right, let me go back to the presentation now. I can click through all 4 sixes. All right, I think Perry, this one's you.
Okay, so this one is mine. And just want to reiterate again, don't worry about it like trying to remember all of the things that we are sharing with you today in our presentation. This is being recorded, and we will be making this available on our YouTube channel in the coming days. So you can go back and rewatch this and everything. And don't worry, we're not going to quiz you guys at the end of this presentation either. But just to kind of follow up a little bit in terms of what Jason and Kate are saying in terms of minimum progress and everything. You may have already heard, or you may learn later that it's really important to maintain minimum progress. And under the College of Letters and Science, and again, Kate can kind of correct me if I'm wrong, but for the most part, the College of Letters and Science would like to see all of our students, for the most part, to finish or complete at least 36 units per year to maintain minimum progress and everything towards a degree. Simple math is basically 12, 12, and 12. So if you do 12 times 3, that's 36 units. So as long as you're doing at least a minimum 12 units per quarter, you're in good shape. And also 12 units is your magic number in the sense that if you're receiving financial aid, 12 units of something maintains eligibility to receive your financial aid, but it also maintains access to university resources, such as access to the Health and Wellness Center, to the academic and tutoring centers and everything. So 12 units is your magic number. And as you can see by this little handy chart, those who are majoring or declare majors under the Bachelor of Science in Chemistry ACS or Chemical Physics, you're looking at probably staying within about 12 to 14 units for the upcoming fall. That includes 2 major required classes, possibly undergraduate research and or a first-year seminar, and a general a GE course or an elective course of your choosing. An elective is basically also a course that Kate was mentioning, or at least was showing, if you've already, like, for example, satisfied all your IGUTC requirements and everything to satisfy your GE requirements under the College of Letters and Science. So that usually will take you about 13 to 14 units, which is our happy zone of total units for a quarter. Those of you who are under pharmaceutical, forensic, and environmental, very similar in the general makeup in that you're doing 2 major required classes, perhaps undergraduate research and or a first-year seminar, and then a GE and elective. And your totals will probably come out as little as 12 units to 14 units. Under the ACS Chemical Physics, you're looking at 13 to 14 units. But again, our happy zone is kind of like to be no more than 14 units, because that is a good, well-balanced workload for any first quarter. And that will allow you time and headspace to adjust from the semester system to a quarter system. It'll allow you time and headspace to engage within our chemistry community, for you to explore other avenues or experiential equity, such as research, seminars, communal involvement. Maybe you want to get involved with a club here on campus. A good balanced quarter between 12 and 14 will allow you to do that. Some of the classes that you could expect to find on your first quarter schedule, and it's going to be subjected to the degree that you're pursuing and certainly what prerequisites you satisfy, but some of the suggested courses we listed below, for example, Biosci 102, Biosci 103, Chem 104, if you're a forensics major, inorganic chemistry 124A. Certainly if you've done your math, your physics and gen chem, you could be potentially looking at starting out with P-Chem in your upcoming quarter. So these are some of the staple courses that you may find on your suggested schedule when you meet with us one-on-one.
All right, thanks, Perry. So I know we have kind of talked about general educations and IGETC, and you probably have lots of questions about those things. And that kind of goes back to what I said earlier, is that we are your major advising team. So we can advise you on all things you need to do to get this chemistry degree. However, we are housed under the College of Letters and Science, and they have an advising team that oversees the general education, the completion of IGETC, the unit requirements to graduate, the writing course requirements, the residency requirements, meaning, can you go take your last 20 units at a different college and still graduate from UC Davis? The answer is no, you have to be in residence at UC Davis. So those are a whole lot of other questions you might have, and the Letters and Science advising team will be a great resource to you. However, they are not available quite yet. So basically the way advising works over the summer for our new students, they are meeting with all incoming freshmen. And that is a very large number of students in the College of Letters and Science. We are the largest college on campus. The other colleges are engineering, biological sciences, and College of Ag and Environmental Sciences. But by far, Letters and Science is the largest. So while you will not likely be able to get an appointment with their advising team in July, late August, they start having some availability. So this could feel frustrating, really, but I know what chemistry courses to take. I met with Kate Perry or Emily, and I've got that. I don't know what else to take. Once again, you've got to get comfortable with taking units that might not be satisfying a requirement other than units you need to graduate. And now is also a good time, like I mentioned, to go back to if you're coming from a community college, to go back to them and ask about your IGETC. If you have it completed, make sure they sent that IGETC certificate over to UC Davis. If you know you have that IGETC, you don't have to worry about general education. So really, it's just about finding some other classes that look fun to take and having a nice balanced schedule for fall quarter. So like I said, the Letters and Science Advising Office is not going to be available for appointments for new transfers until late August after you've registered. So that's why you just want to get comfortable with finding a class that looks fun to you to take in addition to your major requirements, which you will get a very detailed, here's the classes to take for your major when you meet with one of our team members. So that is a different, and I know you guys probably are going to meet with us and want to ask questions about IGETC, and unfortunately, the reality is that we just can't step on their toes. They don't step on our toes. We are very decentralized with our advising at UC Davis. And though we work together, but we still oversee very different areas of your degree. And we have to kind of keep it that way and respect their space, and they respect our space. But we do work together, but questions about those sorts of things are going to have to wait for Letters and Science for the most part. Great. Take it away. Emily, Jason, here.
I can do this one. Okay, so this is just a list of a few dates that are coming up nearing the start of the fall quarter. And again, you'll get further emails from us and invitations to join as these events get closer, but this is just to give you an idea of a lot of welcome and orientation type stuff that we will be holding. So we have on Tuesday, September 6th, another Zoom meeting, which is for new chemistry majors. So again, you're more than welcome to come to that, as well as from Friday through Monday, September 16th through 19th, we have Aggie orientation. And as Kate mentioned previously, we have the first day of fall quarter, September 19th. That being said, that is not when you need to be here. That is, again, for any calendar dates or anything that needs to be worked out by the school. That is when all of that starts. And then you officially have class on Wednesday, September 21st. If you do want to come a bit early, on Tuesday, September 20th, we have our fall welcome at Everson Courtyard. So you'll be able to meet all of us in person. This event is sort of still in the works, but we are hoping to have some campus partners there and possibly some faculty members. So again, you'll get more details as that date gets closer. Then we have our chemistry club information session on September 22nd, which is the Thursday after the first day of instruction. And time and location is TBA, just depending on what our chemistry club officers decide on. And finally, on that Friday, to celebrate the completion of your first week, even though it's technically 3 days, we still want to celebrate. We will have an ice cream social. So you're all welcome to come by Everson Courtyard at 2:30, and we will be giving out ice cream to everyone to celebrate and mingle and socialize. So just a few events. We have a lot planned for September, so hopefully we see a lot of you there again.
All right. Yes, actual registration.
Right. So for registration, the first day that transfer students, so all of y'all, can register will be Monday, August 15th this year. So the registration will occur in 2 4-hour windows for you guys to be able to register. So there'll be one window at 8 a.m. through 12 p.m. and then an additional window at 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. So each of y'all will be assigned to one of these 2 windows where you'll be able to register for your courses for the upcoming fall quarter. And once again, to ensure you are meeting the minimum progress, ensure you are enrolling into 12 units of something. So once again, as Perry mentioned before and Kate mentioned before, we want typically you might want to be registering for like 2 chemistry major required courses and maybe a seminar and an elective. This will make sure you have a very well balanced quarter while also ensuring that you're meeting the 12 units of minimum progress set by the university. Additionally, during this registration process, there will be advising rooms run by Kate and Perry, I believe, in order for you guys can enter via Zoom and be able to ask any questions you may have during registration. And these help rooms will be overlapping with the registration windows. So whether you're the 8 a.m., 12 p.m. window or the 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. window, there will be a help room available for you. I believe that's all the information for this slide.
Yeah, and I'll just mention, like I said, Perry and I, we've been doing registration and orientation advising this way for 2 years, and typically there's not a lot of issues. We really almost sit in those rooms just waiting for someone to come say hi to us, the Zoom rooms. So don't feel like, don't get anxious. You're getting into the courses you need. There are seats that are held for new transfer students as well. So we should mention that. So if you see a class, and most of the chemistry classes have plenty of seats right now, but maybe you see a general education class, like Jason's registered in music of the Beatles, and you're like, I want to take that. That class could be holding seats for registration. So if you don't see seats right now, you want to check the day before because some seats are released in courses. But in general, there will be plenty of classes for you to take, so do not stress about that. And even if you are not happy with your schedule at Pass 1 on that Monday the 15th, you're like, well, I got the chemistry courses, but I'm in an ancient history class, and I don't really want to do that, but I don't know what else is better. You can change your schedule later. That's what Pass 2 is for. That's what open registration is for. So it just needs to be in 12 units of something because you want to be showing the university, the systems that you are a full-time student. So please don't put too much pressure and stress on this date, but definitely mark, and it should show on the top of the schedule builder if you're an 8 a.m. or 1 p.m. Just definitely mark that in your calendar, set in a calendar, because you don't want to miss this window, but you do have a 4-hour window to be in there and to enroll in those courses. Okay, this has our contact information and where we are located, which probably means nothing to you now, but if you look at a campus map, Everson Hall is next to the chemistry building, very centrally located on campus. We have a great space there where Perry and I are both sitting in different offices, but in the center, we have a great community space that you'll often find Emily and Jason and some of our chem ambassadors and chem club folks, and anybody is welcome to come in there, and you will find a caring chemistry student who is welcoming your question and wanting to get to know you. So that is 111 Everson. That is where we are during the business hours for the most part, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5 or so. The advising appointment link is here as well. Our socials are down here. We will send this presentation out, like we mentioned, and we will also puts this recording on YouTube, so you can go back and revisit it. We do still have a few minutes, so we can open the floor for anyone who has questions. But once again, if your question is, hey, I took the first 2 physics class, what's the next physics class I need to take? That's going to be more appropriate for a one-on-one meeting and really more appropriate for us to refer you to physics. But so if it's a very specific question to your situation, let's hold off on that one until you have your one-on-one appointment, and we can address it at that time. So I'll just start. I see Naomi. No, you will be assigned one of the 4-hour windows. You don't get to choose, but courses are released again at 1 p.m. or like at noon for the 1 p.m. So if there are courses that are having seat release, more seats are released at that time, are held for the 1 p.m. folks as well.
So what's the best way to get a hold of the letters and science advisors to give me a sense of my gen ed requirements?
Yeah, I mean, you can, their contact email is in the presentation, which I'll send out. It's LSUEA, which is Letters in Science Undergrad. It stands for Letters in Science Undergrad Education and Advising, but LSUEA at UC Davis. But John, I'll be honest, they're going to tell you to contact them in August. They don't have the capacity for every transfer student to contact them at this point. So you can certainly email them, but what we've been told from them is that, you know, they're going to be available for appointments later in August. Jing Jing, looks like you asked about transcripts. It will not place a hold on your registration, but you do need to get them in. Perry, correct me, by this, I don't want to see the date, but it won't prevent you from registering in August if they're not in, but do your best to get them in as soon as possible. It can sometimes take up to 6 weeks because a lot of the schools are still manually entered in to our system, so it can take some time. If anyone else feels comfortable, you can raise your hand, or Emily, you had a comment?
Yeah, I see a few other questions from previously. Matthew, I saw your questions. I know that's a little more specific to your case, so that is something that we can discuss either with me or Perry or Kate when we meet. But yes, it won't be a problem. We'll be able to help you with that. And then Nancy, I saw your comment. I know we've been emailing back and forth, so I will email you a response to that when I follow up to your previous email. So no worries with that either. But apart from that, I think those are the only questions in the chat.
Thanks, Emily. Anyone?
Actually, I have a question, if you wouldn't mind. So my school is behind on their system's shut down, and transcripts are, I don't even know what the progress of their transcript ship out is. Do I need to inform admissions of that, or?
Yeah, you can. I wouldn't be overly concerned, but correct. All transcripts go through admissions. They don't. We don't ever receive them except for, you know, once we can see that they're uploaded. We are going to be doing your advising based on what you submitted that you were going to complete when you applied to UC Davis. So it's an unofficial record of classes that all students submit when they submit their, you know, intent to enroll or their application. So that's what we will be using. But of course, once we're meeting one-on-one, you're like, actually, I never finished that biology class. That's okay. We'll adjust the plan at the time. And so it is not something that you need to be too stressed about if it's not accurate what you had initially applied to say, hey, here's what I'm taking. But all transcripts go through admissions. And if you're concerned about getting them because of a particular situation at your school, you could let admissions know, but it's not going to prevent your registration on August 15th. Anybody else? I'll mute if see if anybody wants to just go ahead and speak up.
I saw in the chat, Naomi had a question. She said they heard that there was a class offered that goes over different chemistry careers. Is that still available? Unfortunately, that is once. Oh, is there a change?
It's on the teaching calendar for spring this year. Let's fingers crossed, but fingers crossed.
Yes. Yeah. So it was previously offered in the fall, but it seems to have been shifted over. So hopefully that will be available, but not until the spring. Yes. And then the coffee engineering class, I believe that one is still offered. I'm not sure what quarters it's offered. Again, you can use your OASIS under forms and petitions and check what quarter it might be made available. So that would count as an elective course if you so choose to register for that.
And our Everson Hall is where that class lab takes place. So I can attest it is happening. Perry can attest, Emily can, it is happening every quarter, all the time. We smell coffee down the hall, which is not a bad thing. But that is a fun class to take. I think it's E6, no, 5. It's a chemical engineering, so it starts with ECH. You can check where you register, Vanessa, in your schedule builder. So it should be at the very top of the page. It should say the date and your past one time. There's a hand raised, I think, but I can't quite. Oh, Diana or Dina, sorry, go ahead.
It's Dania. It's all good. So I guess from what I understand, we should wait till our advising appointments kind of discuss our major requirements. Is there anything we should be doing in between, like our meeting? Like, should we be looking at courses like on the assist.org, or what should we be doing?
Great question. It never hurts to be on assist, to be like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is what I've taken. Perry and I and Emily are also very well versed on assist. And so we will be using that. So if you have questions, most students come in thinking, well, I know I completed my OChem and my physics and my math, so you usually have a good sense of what you've already completed. And we are pretty well adept at using assist as well as the unofficial transcript to also see what you've completed. So I know it can be a bit frustrating because of the timeline in terms of, well, I've been done for months and I'm ready to go. What can I be doing now to be proactive? And really at this point, looking for elective courses that look fun to take, take a day trip to campus, enjoy the beautiful campus. But, there's nothing you can really do until registration on August 15th. And, you have an opportunity to meet with us before that. It's not required, but we recommend it. And, we will give you a very detailed kind of checklist and plan at that time. And so there's nothing you need to do other than maybe follow up with your community college counselor if you have an IGETSI question. But it is kind of, enjoy your summer while you have it, because a lot of, once we hit that quarter system is quick, and you'll miss the days of having less things to do. And I'm gonna stop recording now, but we can keep going. And so Perry, do you want to take Blanca's question about a flow chart or?
Let me see.